Hi, Valerie here. Wanted to stop by and give you a sneak peek of the preparations that are going on for my presentation next month at the FocusOn Learning Conference in San Diego. I'll be doing presentation 711, Re-Envisioning Gamification. The PBLs are dead. Long live the PBLs. It'll be at 2:30 on Wednesday. But first I want to tell you a story. It's called The Gamified Goose. It's a fractured fable. Once upon a time, there were two farmers. The first man had moved to the country from the big city and purchased and ran a place called the Quick Fix. The second place, called Engage-A-Lot, had been in the other farmer's family for generations. Each of the farmers shopped for feed and supplies at the same general store in town. And one day there was a new book on the counter by the register, entitled How to Gamify Your Goose. On their next visits into the store, each of the farmers had asked the shopkeeper about the book. The shopkeeper shrugged and said he wasn't really sure what it was all about, but he'd heard it was real popular in the surrounding towns, so he figured that he should keep a few copies in stock. On the back cover of the book, there were glowing testimonials, so each of the farmers in turn had purchased a copy and taken it home. After a long day of tending his crops and livestock, the first farmer sat down next to the fire and began reading the book. He carefully pored over the first chapter, and by the end he was convinced that he had the answer. According to the book, if he added doses of PBLs, otherwise known as points, badges, and leaderboards, to his feed mix, he would see dramatic improvements in the output from his goose. So he started immediately. Each day he carefully mixed the PBLs into the feed and watched to see what would happen. Within a few days, he started to notice changes in the goose. It did seem a little happier, did seem to have a little more spring in its step. Encouraged, he continued the diet, adding more and more PBLs to the mix. Just a few days later, the most amazing thing happened. The goose laid a golden egg. The farmer couldn't believe his eyes, but then the next day, the goose popped out another one, and another, and this happened for several days. The farmer was ecstatic and started seeing nothing but dollar signs dancing around in his head. Then one day something else happened. The goose stopped laying eggs. No golden ones, no regular brown ones, no white ones, none. It just sat around looking bored. It pecked at the feed, but didn't produce anything. The farmer flew into a rage and told the goose to pack its bags and leave. He was mad, not murderous, so the goose in this fractured fable didn't get cooked. He hit the road and he happened upon the second farmer that we met earlier at the country store. The farmer had also gotten the How to Gamify Your Goose book and a supply of PBLs to add into his feed. But this farmer, at the nudging of his daughter, had read the whole book, not just the first chapter. The second farmer learned that using just the PBLs was a recipe for disaster in the long run. Like a cup of coffee, the initial jolt might get the geese hopping, but geese are meant to fly, and for that you need a better mix. So he learned about balancing short and long-term goals, intrinsic and extrinsic motivators, and a host of other methods that would bring meaning to the methods he used. At first the goose was skeptical when he saw the bags of PBLs in the barn, but he also saw other bags with other types of feed and other geese who looked really happy. With a little gentle nudging from the farmer, he convinced the goose to stay a while and see what things were like on their farm. It was no time, the goose was back to laying golden eggs, as were many of the other geese. Some even laid emerald or diamond ones on occasion. And so the goose and the farmer and the daughter lived happily ever after. So, you curious yet to find out what else was put in that mix with the second farmer? Come check out the session 711, Re-Envisioning Gamification. Or, even before that, you can consider stopping by and having a cup of coffee with us as we talk about helping stakeholders to get past their fear of failure and fun. That'll be Tuesday morning at 7:30. Or you can come and deconstruct the game The Trail at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. I hope to see you at one of the sessions, and I'll see you at yours. Can't wait to hear what everybody else is sharing. It's going to be a wonderful event, and if you're going to be at FocusOn Learning, I'd love to hear from you and hear what you're working on and see how I might be able to help you. So I'll see you soon. And I'll be seeing you at yours. Can't wait to hear what other people are going to share too. It's going to be a great event, and if you're going to be at Focus on Learning, I'd love to hear from you and hear what you're working on and see how I might be able to help you. See you all soon!